That's right, folks. This is Joey the Bull, and this is the Royal Ramble with Jonathan Malice and Adam Woods.
Whoa. What's good, party people?
I'm sorry. I thought
What happened to BA?
I thought Daniel wasn't here. I thought BA had made it. I'm sorry for you bigots out there.
Wrong black guy. We don't always look alike, but when we do, usually we have afros.
I don't know what that means.
Anyway,
but I'm just gonna. Anyway. Hello and welcome to the Royal Ramble, Orange County Championship Wrestling's flagship show on its flagship station, the Free Admission Channel. I am your host, Jonathan Malice. We have a very special guest host today by the name of Adam Woods. Those of you who tune into the Free Admission Channel are familiar with Adam Woods and his Gym Crashers show, which airs just before the Royal Ramble on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. We want to thank you all for tuning in tonight and give a shout out to Thunder and Lightning, who are both under the weather and overworked on this evening, Tuesday evening. How you doing, Adam?
great. I mean, I'm super excited to talk about wrestling, my first love, with all of you guys. So, man, this is going to be amazing with the great and powerful Jonathan Malice.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan Malice will suffice. For those of you who have been tuning in, you know that we have Saturday, March 7th at American Legion Post 555 in Midway City. That's not to be mistaken with 716 in Los Alamitos. American Legion Post 555. We at OCCW proudly present our annual Heartbreak City Rumble. That's right, 20-man over-the-top battle royal elimination style match to determine the number one contender to the newly crowned OCCW heavyweight champion, Gusten Thunder Uberstud. Go ahead and there we go. Heartbreak City. You will see the likes of Azrael competing against his stalwart and tag team partner, B.A. Marcus Frey. You will see Vintage Dragon, the newly minted Vintage Dragon, who doesn't seem to have a friend in the world at this point. The mighty Mikey O'Shea. You will see the newly formed version of Divine Intervention with Freddie Helmuth and Freddie Flores. Out for revenge, you'll see Alexander Vega. You'll see Heidi. You'll see Luis Tapia. Voodoo Master. In addition to 3 great matches on the card. Once again, that's the Heartbreak City Rumble at American Legion Post 555 in Midway City. That's Saturday, March 7th. Doors open at 5:30. Matches begin. Bell time. Matches begin at 6. Tickets are $15 pre-sale, $20 at the door. Don't you dare miss it.
It's worth it, man. You guys are in for a great show. I mean, you're going to be seeing wrestlers flying over the ropes to see who's going to be the last two involved. And you never can tell. It might be, Thunder and Lightning. It might be the guys have been friends for a long time. It happens.
Imagine that. You have B.A. Marcus Frey in the ring with Azrael as the last 2 men standing, or maybe even the first 2 men. All right? Now, obviously they're going to have to fight in earnest until the next guy comes out. But can you imagine the type of teamwork that you may see out of those 2 if they're in there at the same time, facing the whole horde coming on?
I mean, you see it in history's past, a lot of your old school WrestleMania, from WWE to all your old WCW, where you had partners that had to go against each other. I mean, Adam, any memories of that, of you watching?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I distinctly remember the Rockers having to go not one-on-one, but there was a moment where Sean and Marty were in the Rumble together. I can't remember which year, but again, you're like, your brain just went kind of numb because you're like, they're together. Why are they against each other? It's a mind-jarring thing that happens. So I can't wait to see that.
And the flip side to that, I remember this was in the late 80s, maybe the early 90s. The Axe and Smash of Demolition were the number 1 and 2 entrants. And for the first, however, was it 2 minutes long, you see Axe and Smash just pounding on each other until the next guy comes in, and then it was like nothing. These guys were like machines, and then boom, boom. That was really exciting. Another duo, the Mega Powers.
Mega Powers, yeah, absolutely.
And that was the precursor to what ultimately happened. But you had Randy Macho Man Savage, the current champion.
Oh yeah,
against the former Hulkamaniac.
I agree.
And Hulk Hogan lines up. That's an interesting thing. Hulk Hogan eliminated Randy Savage, right?
Absolutely.
And that started their whole. If you really break it down, Hulk Hogan was responsible for that? Storyline, whatever. If you look at when he carried Elizabeth back to the back and left Macho Man in the ring to get the shit beat out of him, right? There was plenty of EMTs right there. Like, you know what I mean? If you look at it from that point of view, how they managed to paint Macho Man as the
bad guy in that
as the heel, yeah.
Well, and it's a lot of art imitating life, because if you know the story of the destruction of the marriage of Miss Elizabeth and Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan and his wife played a large part of that. So while we were telling us to say our prayers, eat our vitamins as kids, he was destructing marriages. So there's that.
Angling on his friend's wife.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. And there's an Ultimate Warrior shoot interview that kind of details it.
I remember that. He talked about that.
Absolutely. So there's that.
Well, there you have it. Once again, that's Saturday, March 7th at American Legion Post 555. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. I wanted to ask you a little bit about. We talked before the show began a little bit about the state of wrestling, and how for some of us it's become less than watchable. And big time wrestling has become less than watchable. I mean, I enjoy watching Major League Wrestling, which is oddly named because frankly it is like AAA level baseball,
right?
And it is much more fun to watch. I like the NWA,
absolutely.
Right? But the larger wrestling, everything from Impact to WWE to even AEW, is for me just I don't get it.
No, absolutely. I mean, there was a time in our country where, I mean, you could look to the 80s, the 90s, the late 90s, the Attitude Era, right? And we would clamor for more wrestling, right? So now we're in the, into the 2000s, and we can't get enough of wrestling, but it's not to the echelon of what we remember. There's more wrestling. I mean, it's almost like
more hours of wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got more hours, right? I mean, just on the WWE alone, they're up to, I want to say 11 hours of original programming, live programming. So if you want
Every week?
Every week.
Okay.
Every week. So 11 hours as a fan that you would have to dedicate to follow all the storylines. And then you don't get paid off because guess what? Hey, Vince might feel a certain way a particular Monday night, and guess what? Everything that was a backstory beforehand for 3 months and you're waiting for the payoff, it goes right out the window, right? Then we feel like AEW is going to be the savior of it, and it unfortunately, and I hope I'm not mincing my words, but it has become a nepotism fest of Jericho and the Bucks. I mean, and you could also argue Cody, but those are those are the only things that are watchable and palatable to any school wrestling fan. Anything that involves Jericho, but even that has gotten passe, right? And the Rhodes Brothers, and I'm a huge fan of Dustin. Anything he does is great, even on the commentary when he does AEW Dark. But for the large part of it, you're seeing a lot of green wrestlers. And if you're talking about Jim Cornette, not many of them could quantify as wrestlers on a large stage, and we're not even getting into the production snafus of the early AEWs, and it's just like that's not the alternative that we were looking for.
If I may, and we talked about this. I said it looks like the final year of Nitro out there. Where not only are the inmates running the asylum, not only did the inmates build the asylum, but the inmates are dictating what's going on in that ring. I talked to some of the guys we talked earlier about how the tag team wrestling, the guys, when the referee should be telling them get out of the ring, they're double teaming the guy, and the referee's making the count. They're covering making the cover. Right. All kinds of madness and not in a good way, not mayhem, just sloppiness, and it's the type of undisciplined dross that people who don't like professional wrestling point to and say that's so stupid.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're always going to have wrestling is always going to have its detractors. I mean, no matter 100%. That shit's fake, right? But the reality is, when it is bad and fake, it is just bad, and you can't make an argument for it. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, and one thing that professional wrestling has always kind of cemented its place in people's lives is the entertainment value, right?
Right.
Much like any movie, any Rocky movie, there's a reason why there's, 8 Rocky movies, it seems like, and 2
There are 8.
Apollo Creeds, right?
There's 6 Rockies and
There's
one-
6
and 2
Rockies and
Creeds.
then 2 Apollo Creeds. It's because you're emotionally invested. There isn't
Frankly, there should be more, because if they can make 13 Nightmare on Elm Streets and all that, they should be able to make a few more Rocky flicks.
Absolutely.
Don't you think, Joey?
Well, like, hey, you want $5 million retirement home? Yo, hey, yo.
No. How many fights does the average boxer
me,
have
I'll
when he
sue.
wins the heavyweight
Yeah.
champion?
I mean,
you can make a
into
movie
the
about every
40s.
fight.
Absolutely, absolutely. But with that all being said, there isn't too much of an emotional attachment that people have. I don't think to AEW and any of its characters or what have you. It has become, if you're in LA, if you've ever been to a bar wrestling show, it is bar wrestling on a grander stage. But do we really need that? Is that a real, true and blue alternative to the WWE? One could argue, absolutely it is. But is it the one that you want? We're still out on that. The jury's still out on that. Some of my favorite promotions, like you said, MLW, NWA, and New Japan. New Japan, even
Well, as a people, those people are more disciplined than anything we have to offer here. And I think that, and I'm not a big fan of constantly mashing on the big
stage.
companies, whether it be WWE or AEW. But for me, like I told someone the other day, I go, look, started watching wrestling when I was 12 years old, right? I couldn't turn it off. I whenever it was on, I would go through the TV guide back in the day and try to find wrestling and try to watch it every time. If what they're putting out now was what I first saw when I was 12 years old, I would have changed the channel and watched, Gilligan's Island instead.
100%.
So that said, and the world of wrestling is large. It is wide. There are corners, valleys, nooks, and crannies. There are roads. There are peaks. There are lows. There are oceans. And there are deserts. And one man has been able to traverse them all. He is our very own intrepid international correspondent, Mr. Jack Bruce Davidson. How you doing, Jack Bruce?
It's me.
It's he.
Me. It's JBD.
There it is.
There it is.
Good, sir.
Adam Woods for you.
Here you go.
Have a seat. Tell us what you have found on your travels.
What about the shirt? What's the shirt?
Let's take a look at this shirt. Look at it. No shininess today. No see-throughness.
Is that from the Higgins collection from Magnum PI, or what's going on?
Gotta bust those crooks somehow.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how I make the money for the plane tickets.
All right.
There you go.
There you go.
Right.
There's some insider information. Dave
Snapping
Meltzer.
necks and cashing checks. That's
There it
Jack
is.
Bruce Davidson.
Jack of all trades. All right.
So what's new in the world of wrestling?
All right, I'll let you know that. So Charlotte Flair has announced she
she's gorgeous.
is picking Rhea Ripley as her opponent for WrestleMania, seemingly to go back to WWE NXT. We don't know if it's just a one-off, but whether you're a fan of Charlotte Flair or not, you cannot deny, it's good that the NXT Women's Championship, or NXT Championship as they refer to it now, simply is getting that exposure at WrestleMania. Seems like it's the A show of WWE, because the wrestling there and the programs there seem to be more thought out than the ones on Raw and SmackDown.
No, I agree. When you see, kind of transitions from like Finn Balor from the main roster coming down to NXT, it's not a lot. I mean, to me, it's a lateral step. Not because when CM Punk was doing it back in the day, it was looked at as almost like a downgrade, right? So I love the fact that what I think is WWE's premier brand, both NXT and NXT UK getting kind of a big push on a big stage. And Charlotte, love her or hate her, when
Did you hate that creature?
you know,
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I mean, when Ric Flair was talking about her while she was still in NXT, feuding with the likes of Sasha Banks and the women's division at that time, this is 4 years ago, and Ric Flair is saying, "Oh, she's even better than me," and I'd be like, "You're saying that because you're the doting dad," but. In terms of pure athleticism and being able to, when she's a face, they're throwing babies in the air, as Jim Cornette says. When she's a heel, you despise her.
Well, that's how exactly how Ric Flair was.
Right, absolutely. So, that comparison that her dad, who many regard as one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, it's definitely apropos. For sure. So, and to see the ascension of Rhea Ripley over the course of the last year and a half, when you look at her first kind of introduction to the WWE audience from the Mae Young Classic, and what she's become now, you've seen a constant evolution of her. I also want to point out, like, Pete Dunne, when you saw him on the first NXT UK show, the character progression that he showed is amazing. So to see Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair on the big stage of WrestleMania fighting for the NXT title, again, Charlotte Flair has already won everything on the main roster. Why not add NXT Gold to her credit?
Exactly.
All right. Moving right along.
And then let's go to the let's keep it into the WWE. Mr. Shelton Benjamin has signed a multi-year extension with WWE. It seems like he wants to wrap up his WWE career, wrap up his wrestling career where it starts, and possibly become a producer afterwards.
Shelton Benjamin. Never has one person made such a non-impact in the wrestling world. I mean, for all the hoop and hollering, all the hoopla, all the hype, what? And what?
Okay, Shelton Benjamin, a part of the Minnesota Stretching Crew with none other than Brock Lesnar, right? He was Brock Lesnar's roommate at the University of Minnesota. I think, bell to bell, he's one of the most underutilized talents there is. When you put a microphone in his face, it's not great. He's got a speech impediment.
But you can use that to your advantage. Ric Flair had a lisp. And
Cody Rhodes, same deal. I think this is good because this is a player-coach role. Shelton has, spent his years away from the WWE in New Japan, hard-hitting style, what have you. I don't think he needs to put any more, physical toll on his body. He's already north of 40.
Or toll on my ears and on my eyes. I mean, Shelton, hail, but ultimately farewell. All right.
There you go.
Next one.
All right, and then we're going to go down south to the NWA. The NWA has announced that the Crockett Cup pay-per-view will take place on the same day as Impact's Rebellion pay-per-view. Both events take place April 19th, with the Crockett Cup taking place in Atlanta, while Impact's Rebellion pay-per-view is taking place in New York City.
Wait, it's called the Crockett Cup?
Yeah.
They didn't decide to call it Heartbreak City?
No.
Like they did with Hard Times?
No.
They stole our...
Hey, knock on wood.
Yeah. Hey, if you're watching NWA, I'm not suing you because I like the NWA. But, the Crockett Cup, do you remember? Are you old enough to remember?
Absolutely.
Back in the day, the Crockett Cup was a 2-day tournament for the tag team division, right? First was the Road Warriors won the first one,
Absolutely.
and then it was Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff in the second one. The third one, I think, was Sting and Lex Luger.
Yep.
This Crockett Cup tournament was before pay-per-view was really commonplace.
Absolutely.
So I'd have to read about it in the After Mags or catch the video. There was a time when the Rock and Roll Express, the Road Warriors, the Midnight Express, all these amazing teams that, oddly enough, you never saw the Road Warriors and the Rock and Roll Express in a good feud.
Right.
The allure of the Crockett Cup was a chance to see all these teams had a chance of going at each other. Maybe you'd see Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff against the Road Warriors, but ultimately it never happened. What is this Crockett Cup about?
The Crockett Cup. It's basically NWA's event. It's basically one of their.
Do they have a tournament going on? What is this cup
so
they're
this
giving
is
away?
the second incarnation of the Crockett Cup. The first one, they basically crowned new tag team champions in Villain Enterprises, Brody King and PCO,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So this is the second incarnation under the guise of Billy Corgan.
Right.
I just think it's fun. It's
Is it another tournament?
it's another tournament.
It's another tag team tournament?
Absolutely.
Well, see, that's my original question.
Yeah.
Took the
well,
words
thank
right out of
you.
my
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah. So it's everything that you remember with tag teams of new, I guess.
Okay, well, good. Then that's good. That's a good thing. But it's a 3-hour tournament as opposed to a 2-day tournament.
Yeah.
Right.
Originally it was 16 teams, and then I guess now it's 8 teams.
8
Yeah,
teams.
8
All right.
Right.
All right. So who are the contestants?
Contestants.
Not real sure, huh?
Can't tell you off the top.
All right. Well, we're gonna get that up for us before the end of the night.
Yeah, of course. I'll post that.
Keep
in
going.
The chat. All right, so we're gonna go to New Japan Pro Wrestling for this news. New Japan Pro Wrestling has canceled various meet and greets due to the coronavirus outbreak. They're going to continue events with very specific guidelines, and they've issued statements encouraging fans, if you're feeling sick, to stay home. And basically, if a fan isn't doing too well, they might ask the fan to leave the event, obviously trying to protect their talent and people from that virus.
Here's an interesting thing about the coronavirus, right? Or whatever virus, whatever scary virus is going on, whether it be SARS or whatever. It's a real thing for that part of the world, and it's a real thing for those people because unlike you and me, right, who don't travel all that much, they're in a different city, in a different town, in a different part of the world on a weekly basis. Jack Bruce Davison has coronavirus. Oh. He doesn't know it. He goes to Marrakesh, does a show there. He travels to Wisconsin, does a show there, right? He goes to Beijing, he goes to Tokyo, he goes to Sydney, Australia. Now all these hookers in those cities are carrying the coronavirus, and now he's typhoid JBD.
Damn, I went to Harry's Burgers and I got choro virus right now.
JBD, more like JBC.
I would expect nothing less from Harry's.
But on I'm joking, but with a traveling group like you have in a big time pro wrestling company, you are in constant danger of A, catching whatever the local illness is, and B, spreading said illness to the rest of the world. So their fear is real.
Don't sneeze on Okada, folks. He's one of the greatest in-ring performers right now.
Or Kushida.
Yeah.
Kushida. In WWE. Yeah.
Well, Kushida's with WWE.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. Another something else that they should be thinking.
Bubble wrap around Kenta. Okay. So
bubble wrap.
So reports have revealed that JBL and Davey Boy Smith are set to be the next inductees into the WWE Hall of Fame. Which is long overdue for Mr. Davey Boy Smith.
A posthumous induction into the Hall of Fame, to be sure. Unfortunately, he is no longer with us. But it will be nice to remember him again. JBL, you like him or hate him, he may have had an impact. He held the title for over a year and a half.
Absolutely.
And he hung around for a while. He's definitely worthy of induction into the Hall of Fame, I believe.
I agree. I mean, it's funny.
If you're going to put Pete Rose in.
Well, there we go. I mean, when you look at iterations of the $1 Million Man character, right? We can look at DiBiase, you could look at JBL, and then Alberto Del Rio, right? They all took a turn of the same gimmick. So
you could go further back, look at Ric Flair and Nick Bockwinkel.
Absolutely. And I think it's totally fitting for JBL.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like the Texas oil owner.
Yeah, exactly. Just a different rich man.
Exactly. All right. And SoCal Indie Star turned WWE Performance Center into Indie Star. Jake Atlas is to be booked at the next Evolve events on February 29th, March 1st, 14th, and 15th, respectively, making his debut on a leap year. So, every year he's going to be like the 4-year anniversary, but it's going to be the 1-year anniversary.
So is that taking place outside of the auspices of WWE, or is he finishing out his date? Oh, in Evolve. Wow,
it's
okay.
Like a little sister company.
Yeah, and
the new Ohio Valley.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe Sapolsky has been on the payroll much like Paul Heyman was in the mid '90s. So it's a cool deal because he still needs. I don't want to say he needs polishing, but big stage, what have you. I want to see what Gabe Sapolsky is going to do with him. So I think that's a great get.
It's definitely good grooming for him. Like make sure to get the kinks out.
Right.
All right, and then this next one's pretty funny. Twitter Humanitarian Award nominee, Mr. Randall Keith Orton, has commented on Matt Riddle's recent success in NXT, winning tag team gold with the aforementioned bruiserweight Pete Dunne. And Randy Orton said, and I quote, "Hated you, now I get it, good luck, also fuck off." So, basically Randy Orton being Randy Orton.
Now, was Randy Orton serious about telling him that?
Randy Orton is always serious when he does that. Yeah,
Why didn't he like him?
He just...
Same reason Brock doesn't like him.
Oh, guy's a jerk?
Well, it's because... sorry, I interrupted you.
No, absolutely. Go ahead and take this one, man.
Basically, Matt Riddle is very... straightforward with like what he thinks, and he's and that's
and
not
so he
always-
thinks he should have gotten a push. Yeah, that's the guy that thinks he should have had a match with
retire
Brock Lesnar.
The same guy that says retire Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Like,
so RKO probably doesn't have much patience for him. Huh?
yeah, and like not a lot of people in the locker room, especially the old school people, don't really have patience for people posting stuff like that on social media.
Right.
So-
I get you. Yeah, that's stupid.
I think it's funny because Randy Orton Brock Lesnar had heat with one Chris Jericho after Hardway busting up Randy Orton, and so
SummerSlam.
Randy Orton coming to a defense of somebody that wanted to fight Brock. I think it's just hilarious on the timeline. So fun times.
All right.
And then while we're talking about UFC Hall of Famer Tito Ortiz has been spotted at the WWE Performance Center. He was recently a member, well, not so recently, but he was a member of Aces and Eights in TNA. And he basically beat Alberto Del Rio in a champion versus champions match.
He actually had a match out here in the independent scene back in the early days of XPW.
Nice.
I forgot who it was he wrestled. Basically, he came in and it was a squash match, and he was sponsored by Rob Black and Extreme Associates.
Oh wow!
Back then, yes. And so while Tito was all proud of his porn background or whatever you want to call it, he's actually wrestled before. So, well, if you want to call it that. I mean, he came out there, squashed the guy, that was it. Yeah. But, so Tito Ortiz in wrestling is like Donald Trump in politics. All right? And we'll just leave it at that. Anything can happen,
Yeah, absolutely. But, I kind of think like in the instance of like Cain Velasquez, it's maybe a power play for whatever Tito does next, because I don't think that the WWE would take a chance on somebody who's north of 40 with multiple neck surgeries, and kind of a checkered history. So I don't know.
You want to know?
I don't know what goes here, but interesting to say the very least.
You know what I think it is? Fox. I think Fox is pushing for this move because they want WWE to be like more of a competition, like sporty thing. That's why they had Brock Lesnar up on SmackDown and
Or Tyson Fury at the Saudi Blood Money show. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Is that it? Or
I got one more.
Okay, let's hear it.
So currently, the word on the street is that
word on the street.
Guess I'm here.
is that AJ Styles is set to face Undertaker at WrestleMania this year. And I don't know if you want to call this a dream match or a nightmare match because, Undertaker cannot move like he used to.
He hasn't been a good
I
run.
love you, Taker. I love you, Mark Calloway. But,
Hasn't
you
been a
can't-
good run.
You can't really move like you used to.
Well, you don't know. I mean, when was his last match? When he posted John Cena through the mat? Was that his last time in the ring?
The last time in the ring was
Saudi.
Goldberg.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, if he's taken this, it's been a year since that first show
At
up.
least.
So maybe in this year he's taken time to convalesce and maybe get back a little. Because AJ Styles is an amazing talent. AJ Styles is just fantastic. With the experience and a limited ability, but ability of The Undertaker, anything's possible with that match. I mean, you've heard the saying he could carry a broomstick to a 4-star match. Well, certainly Undertaker is no broomstick.
Yeah.
And, anything's possible. Yeah. So, if indeed that happens, I wish them both the best, both for AJ Styles to get the rub and for Undertaker. He's done so much, for the WWE. He deserves to leave whenever he wants to leave, no matter what kind of, showing he gives. I mean, it always bothered me that it took him longer to walk to the ring against his match against John Cena than it did to actually have that horrible match. But, hey, Mark Calloway. Yeah. Whatever turns your crank.
And can I say just one thing?
Absolutely.
I know that The Undertaker is old school, so that would usually dictate that he would lose his last match. I personally think he deserves to go out on a win, because he gave the streak to the business,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But that's just my hot take.
And all AJ needs is a base. What better base do you need as a high flyer than the Undertaker?
There you go.
There you go.
Right. Cool.
Well, I want to thank you, JBD. We wish you all the best. Continue your intrepidness.
Absolutely. Stay clear of the coronavirus because Corona's right down the street.
Hit the table.
All right. So one last time. My name is JBD, and I'm all you need.
You know what? We need to get a close up when that happens, just to give that full effect.
Absolutely.
I'm JBD, and I'm all you need.
How full do you want it, John?
No. All right. Okay. Did you watch the XFL this weekend?
Hell yeah, I did.
Tell me a little bit about it.
It was great. It was fantastic. I think the ratings are still going up there. I mean,
Are they? Are they
a lot
going
of
up?
hard hittings. I mean, just a lot of people are understanding the rules. I mean, they had a lot of people didn't understand now because they watched the game last week.
Right.
They understand the new rules about XFL.
Right.
I mean, the crowds are slowly packing up the first level, which is great.
That is good.
Because in the beginning you see like it's kind of empty, but right like after like the second half. You see the build up, and the crowds are into it. The fans are excited. I mean,
Really?
I mean, the tickets are really cheap. People think it's expensive.
About what is an average
well,
ticket price?
for
Can you find that out, JBD?
For standing tickets, I believe they're like $15, and then anything with seats and down below is like you're looking maybe up to like $90.
That's acceptable.
You know, for like the first row, like that, and then like 20 to like 50 between.
You know what? I as much as I'm not a big fan of Vince McMahon, not because he's successful, but because he's taking that blood money from Saudi Arabia, after going on about waving the flag and God bless America and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
I really do want to see the XFL continue. I mean, I am under no misgivings thinking that they are going to supplant the National Football League as far as its supremacy. But I would go ahead.
Well, what's got brought up with the XFL, which I believe, because I remember when they first came out, they were getting these guys that were working construction, all that hoopla,
Right.
But I think this year, right now, it's showing the players that either got cut, and now they're showing their highlight reels. They're actually showing what they can do. So now scouts are looking at these players now, saying, you know what, let's pick that guy up for next season. Let's get. So a lot of these players are now showing their best to say, hey, why'd you cut me? Look what I can do.
Right.
And of course, you had some quarterbacks in there that were like crap. You had a quarterback that was playing for, I think it was the Houston, Texas or Dallas, whatever.
Well, those are two very different organizations.
Dallas Renegades. Yeah, Dallas Renegades. And he played for, I think, probably about 6 different teams. And that's the reason why he played, because he sucked.
He's terrible.
Terrible,
Okay.
But otherwise, a lot of these guys are trying their head damn the hardest to get recognized so they can go to the NFL. Hopefully they say, we need that guy for the Steelers or the Raiders or the Patriots or whatever.
Well, go ahead.
Sorry, a good ticket for the XFL is only $54.
Really?
Like we're talking like the end zone seats.
Right.
But they do have standing tickets for 15.
Well, you know what? I think we should go take in one of those shows, one of those games, just because. I mean,
We'll open your car, John. We'll just
What's that?
We'll open your car.
Yeah.
We'll pile in all 15 of us.
Yeah. We'll take my my caddy and we'll head down there. All right. That said, once again, Saturday, March 7th at American Legion Post 555, the return of the annual Heartbreak City Rumble, where 20 men will battle for the right to be number one contender to Gusten Uberstud's heavyweight wrestling crown. Also on the card, you will see Joey Barone as he takes on Snipes for his American Legion title. You will see Thunder and Lightning in defense of their tag team title against the team of Divine Intervention. You will also see, well, you're just going to have to wait and see. Once again, that's American Legion Post 555. The Heartbreak City Rumble returns on Saturday, March 7th. Tickets are $15 pre-sale, $20 at the door. Make sure you get there early, as this place will be packed.
I wonder if Guy Cool's going to bring his side piece. Remember, she was a distraction at one of the events we had here.
Yeah, well, I don't want to throw Guy Cool under the bus, but in 2 weeks he had 2 different side pieces.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Guy. Sorry. Oh man, I hope they're not watching.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Now, thank you, Robert. 3 weeks ago, our annual cage match event was held at American Legion Post 716. The week before last, you saw Gusten Uberstud regain his title from Vintage Dragon. Tonight, we are going to look at the match of Thunder and Lightning versus the Debt Collectors. That's right. For those of you who want a little bit of the background, the crew from Lucha Pro had infiltrated OCCW and had run amok. They had taken the heavyweight title. They had caused all sorts of damage and refused to play fair. So finally, we were going to put an end to all this nonsense in the steel cage. The stalwart team of Thunder and Lightning took on the turncoat Mikey O'Shea and the spaghetti-bending madman known as Vito Fratelli, also known as the Debt Collectors. Ladies and gentlemen, this was their match. As you can see, that's cool. Joey, Mr. Science Theater. Okay, can they hear it out there, Robert? I know I asked you. known for their entrances. Here we go.
Oh.
Look at that.
Whoa,
There's
Joey
Joey
the
Barone. It's a 3-man tag team. It's Joey Barone.
Joey the Bull came out of Mikey O'Shea. What the hell?
Now you look at those two. Yeah, I didn't know he was pregnant.
Yeah, I didn't know.
All right,
either.
so look at there's that low life Vito Fratelli.
Spaghetti bending madman.
Yeah, spaghetti bending madman.
I like that.
And his turncoat buddy Mikey O'Shea.
And
Look
I
at
can't believe Mikey O'Shea. He just like turned straight heel, and I mean everybody loved Mikey. But
everybody did. Look at that. He made a little boy cry. Little boy wanted it,
whoa,
He almost whacked himself there.
and he's mad because everyone else is mad. I don't understand that.
look at the poor kids down there. They're
Yeah,
like,
look at the kids are trying to not make eye contact. Look at that poor little girl. Just look at the floor. Eat your food. Look at the floor. Eat your food. One
absolutely.
brave little soul.
Yeah.
Jeez. Even that cheeseburger kid is like, Mikey O'Shea's an ass.
look at that face.
Look at that face. Now truly one only a mother can love. And his mom's a sweet lady. Oh,
Shout out to Mrs. O'Shea. But she might be a turncoat too.
No, she's all right.
All right, that's cool.
Look at those smug sons of guns. Look at that.
Now, hopefully that cage held up. I mean, these guys bounce off side to side. They're pretty big fellas.
Well, according to your idiot friend, the cage keeps falling down whenever we put on a show.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Andy.
Okay.
Are you looking at porn in your room again, Andy?
oh, Jesus, John.
I'm not going to pay for the cable.
John, we want to get ratings for his next show here. You know, we want to get voted one of the top, you know. I want to be the next ring announcer, you know.
Oh, by the way, I might have a new gig for you as a ring announcer.
Yeah, well, I mean, is Heidi taking Joey the Bull's spot?
Oh, no. I was.
Well, hold on.
Hold up.
Joey the Bull. You know those breathalyzers where you have to breathe into before you drive your car?
Absolutely.
Well, he couldn't get his to ignore his bad habit, and he couldn't get his car to start. Couldn't make it to the show.
Wow.
There, your tag team. I'm just kidding, Joe.
I'm not going anywhere,
I thought
son.
he blew into Heidi. I mean,
Tag team champions. Look at that. Azrael, B.A. Marcus Frey. So even when they're not here, they're here.
Look at that. These guys are just straight
Banff?
good.
Straight
isn't that a town in Canada? Banff?
No, it means he's bad at making friends.
Oh, wow.
But
okay.
he's getting better at meeting females.
Hey, there you go. Little
He's
caveat.
about always mashing fools, too.
Is that Ric Flair in the audience? I see.
Did you see Ric Flair there? Yeah, Ric Flair came to see the show. Look at, there's JBD.
There's Ric Flair. Look at that.
Look at Uber Suits people, big fans of BMF. Hey, there's Ric Flair, look at that.
Wow.
And there's Dick Murdoch with him.
Yeah, Dirty Dick. Gotta love Dirty Dick.
That's his real name? Dirty Dick? That you know?
Murdoch. Murdoch.
Wow.
Yeah, Captain Redner.
That's awesome.
Jonathan
Oh, well, there's
Malice
John.
making
He's
appearance.
Making sure he's making that money.
Damn right.
Nobody's
There you
sneaking
go.
in.
Yeah. Hey, fair enough.
Now, these guys look pretty intense. We've been waiting for this battle for a long time because ever since the storyline started with these guys, they were either jumping each other during matches, interrupting matches. Now they're locked behind a steel cage.
Yep.
We're going to see these guys give it hell.
Storyline? I thought that was shit, bud.
You know, here's the funny thing. Those are all 230, 240 plus, right? All those
Except
guys,
Azrael.
except for Azrael. Now you're locked in the cage with half a ton of testosterone and terror.
And t-shirts.
Well, no. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Triple T.
Well, Azrael reminds me of the guy in the circus taming like 3 buffaloes.
Uh-oh.
I've
Is
never
it a
seen
water buffalo?
in the circus. And of course, true to form, dead collectors jumping from behind. You see those big forearms coming from Vito Fratelli. It's like getting hit with a ton of pasta. Look at that, boom, right? And then there's Mikey O'Shea.
I think Mikey's jealous of the midriff that Azrael was showing earlier and wants his
Could be.
fashion techniques.
Oh, BA turning the tide. Oh,
No German suplex? Up, there we go. That's it.
And folks, that's called gym work, folks. If you want to do that, work out.
that's from the load bearing exercise too. Oh, they're two massive individuals. Boom. And back from BA, back from Mikey. Boom.
Man, this
Trade and hacks. Oh,
The
knee
ring
to the
moved
midsection.
3 inches. My goodness.
Wow.
Oh!
Big clothesline from B.A. Marcus Frey, and the back elbow
Jeez.
puts Mikey on his butt. Oh, and the big boot from Mikey.
I mean, them smacking each other. It's like the smell of suntan lotion and cocoa butter mixed together.
What? I don't know what that means, but okay.
Azrael climbing the ropes. What is he going to do? Oh, big
Drops
time
the
elbow
elbow
drop.
on Mikey O'Shea. Mikey O'Shea reeling. Of course, his buddy Vito, boom, makes him feel the steel as he rams Bay's head into the cage. Azrael with looks like a Hurricane Rana attempt, winds up getting a piece of the cage and then a mat for good measure.
Now, don't let Vito fool you. This guy's a strong Italian man. This guy is a beast.
That guy is, he's a 300-pound Italian tank. Boom, and a big...
Well, he's Sicilian. I
Spear.
forget. Different. He's Sicilian.
Did you ever see that movie, True Romance?
No.
Okay.
Was that one of your Netflix and chill night or something like that?
Is that the next OCCW pay-per-view?
True Romance?
True Romance.
There you
That's
go.
a thought.
That's a good name.
Oh,
Big chop from the
Goodness.
giant paws of Mikey
I felt
O'Shea.
that from here.
Where do you think Mikey gets his ring gear made?
At the Ring Gear Warehouse. What a
There
dumb
you go.
question. I don't know.
There you go.
A parachute
Ring gear
for
RS.
us.
Forearm.
Shots by
Another one.
Azrael. Mikey
Don't
climbing the
seem to
cage.
be having much an effect on that behemoth.
And there's Luther.
This can't be good.
Gotta have a Luther.
I love
Ooh.
Luther.
Neck breaker off the top rope onto the middle of the ring. Both men are down.
Wow, look at the eyeliner on that. man.
Azrael's eyes are black.
Jeez.
I think he's been sharing makeup tips with Heidi. I think so.
Or
Here we go.
eyeliner.
Oh, in
that
stereo
poor ring.
splashes. My goodness. Double count out from Mr. Luther there.
Luther's got to pull them pants up, man.
Buy him some
He's sagging.
suspenders.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what part of OC he's in.
It reminds
so-
me of that movie Lean On Me. Pull your pants up, Sams.
Who's leaning on who, though? I don't think we're going to see any leaning from these two gentlemen. Oh,
Wow.
big hard slap. Oh, return. That's a
I
receipt.
felt that one here. Back
Oh.
and forth and forward and back.
Oh.
It's like an Aaliyah song.
Another big one. Looks like BA's getting the better of this exchange. Crowd is eating it up.
Not as much as the pasta that Nelly ate earlier before the match, so that's cool.
You need Olive Garden.
And that's a pretty racist thing for you guys to say.
Really? Olive Garden is not racist at all.
No.
I like their bottomless.
Making fun of his heritage.
Breadsticks.
Because he's Italian, that he likes pasta.
Well, look at the
You know
size
what?
of him,
He
John.
might be on a keto diet. I'm just saying.
Look at the size of him. He's a
Look at
big
the size of him. I mean, look at B.A. Marcus Frey. I mean, he ain't eating
He's a red
vegetables
belt
himself.
in ass kicking.
Oh, needed the midsection. Looking for a quick suplex.
Oh, wow, he fixed
blocked
Oh, he's
by
not going to
BA.
get him over that easy.
Blocked by BA again.
There's Mikey. He has that look in his face.
Oh,
Jeez.
Drops that far. Oh, that looks like a
no.
double suplex. There's
There's a
no
teamwork.
stopping those two.
Oh, shucks.
stalling vertical suplex. Oh, in stereo.
You know what?
Now,
You
John,
couldn't tell from here. I'm sorry, Joey. Go ahead.
Now, John, after this match, was that ring pretty much damaged? Did you do some welding
Yeah,
after
as
that?
a matter of fact, it did. You know, the corner post, the welds had been broken on it, and yeah, we had to replace a lot of it. Fortunately, I did get my security deposit back on the cage.
10 points.
They just planted Azrael through the floor.
Oh my gosh. And just,
Same.
Now
by
that isn't
VA.
so much of a kick out as a poor cover by Mikey. You saw Azrael get his shoulder up. He didn't really kick Mikey off of him.
no, absolutely. You got to hook the leg. If you want the win, you got to hook the leg.
Big left hand from BA. Oh, and he missed by a mile with that one. I could see the tag team titles change hands there. Oh,
Even though it looked
Hanging
slow
neck
motion,
breaker.
it really hurt.
wow, that's a lot of weight coming down on your neck.
Yes, it
Absolutely.
is.
And you know what? For a big man, both of those guys move like
Oh, my God.
Like,
guys half their size. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just unbelievably agile.
That's what people say about me, too.
They can't believe you move at all. Oh, and another big shot.
No respect. No respect. Oh, jeez. That's Azrael.
Man,
Azrael giving it all he's
yeah.
got.
In the eyes.
And they
The
go to
heart
his
of the
eyes.
dog.
You know, you're supposed to be exactly. You're supposed to be a bigger, stronger guy, and you go to the smaller man's eyes. Boy, Mikey, we were wrong about you, brother.
But Azrael, man, he's giving it hell. He's like a little chihuahua. You know?
I was not wrong about Azrael. That guy is all fight.
That's the guy that you want to have back to back in the foxhole with you.
That's right. But you want him to have,
I don't want him to have my foxhole.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds awful negative.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Oh,
big time
body
splash
press on 3 of them.
Oh, my
Flying
God.
body press on 3 men. He even took his own partner out.
That just shows how much this mean at this stage mean for all 4 men. That you're willing to sacrifice yourself and your partner for the greater good.
You know what? Right there, you're looking at a chalk outliner's dream. Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Wow, that was deep.
It's like an episode of SVU.
Yeah.
Where's Mariska Hargitay, though?
Oh, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I would let her in for free.
10 points there.
She seems like a cool person, too. Oh,
I agree.
big overhand slap.
Here we go.
Oh, my
looks
God.
like it's going round the horn.
merry-go-round, huh?
Oh, big boot.
I can't believe Azrael's still up after this.
I
My
can't believe
goodness.
he's still in one piece.
Well, Azrael's part vampire. You know, I mean, if you knew that.
Oh! The humanity.
That is a nice. What would you call that, Adam?
That's, 360 slam is what I'm...
A
in
double
stereo.
360 Sam.
Yeah, in stereo. Oh my gosh, look at the power of B.A. Marcus Ray, lifting out the Irish juggernaut Mikey O'Shea. Evil intentions as he goes for Fratelli and eats a spine buster.
I was like snapping a breadstick in half at Olive Garden.
Here comes Azrael, just as he said that.
Oh,
Oh,
double chin
Codebreaker.
Enziguri to the back of the head.
Oh, curb stomp.
Azrael.
Climb those ropes, Azrael. Climb those ropes, brother.
Oh, and a
Play to the
big
crowd and made
spear.
up.
You got to keep your head in the game, Azrael. They'll cheer for you when you've won.
And he just bent
Not
his
a
body.
moment before. Stay in the game.
He ate a hell of a shoulder from Mikey O'Shea. Oh, and a slap.
Jeez.
I haven't seen this much slapping since the Eddie Bravo Invitational.
There you go, Puerto Rican slap boxing. Oh, Doomsday Device. Oh, Blockbuster Doomsday Device. Thunder and Lightning. Marcus Ray goes for the cover.
Whoa.
Whoa,
What is
What the
that?
hell happened?
something
Did
happened.
Luther slip?
Like a nip slip or
3? Jesus Christ, Luther. What the hell was that? I don't know. Did he make the count or not? Clearly,
Inquiring-
more controversy.
Absolutely.
He said, twice, 3 times I made it.
Are you saying Luther's Buckley? Or did he turn much
Oh,
like Nick
look who's-
Patrick?
More like stymie when
Look
you
who's-
couldn't hit the goddamn
Look who
mat.
showed up.
All right, someone's going to
Divine.
have to go back to referee school for a while.
Is this divine intervention? Oh, man.
Jesus Christ, so did they win the match or not?
Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know.
Why is music playing?
Where did Luther go?
Well, if he's smart, he's running for the hills.
There you go.
So,
Signal Hill, right?
No. Sugar Hill.
There you go. Gang, hip hop.
so they won the match.
I
Yeah,
guess.
I guess. Nobody else wanted it, I guess.
Wow. Luther, we needed a speaking. And a spanking. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Because
Hey, we taught him a lesson. Oh, my shoe! And Buddy just fell down the steps. Goony goo goo.
Well,
Was that Saba Simba?
look at, they're not trying that shit on Big John, are they?
Oh my
You see Luther fall? Put your hands up. I wish that was in slow motion.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that was so bad. Poor Luther.
He was like Magic Mountain. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Now, this is going to be something because I know Azrael was part of Divine Intervention a long time ago.
And Freddie Flores was part of La Raza, and, and there's me.
Now, what about
Saying,
that?
hey,
What were you a part of?
nothing good.
There you go, 10 points.
It's really sad about La Raza. You know, I worked with them for a brief moment.
Right.
These guys, I thought they're going to last forever. And I heard the big upset. I wasn't there, but I heard there was a turn on each other, and that was it.
Yeah, it was just a strange night in the cage all around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Thunder and Lightning emerged victorious from cage match. They are still your Orange County Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Good job, Luther.
Conspicuous in their absence tonight, but always in our hearts. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the point of the show known as Topics. That's right, Topics, where I will deliver a topic to this distinguished panel, including the off-camera Jack Bruce Davidson. They will have 1 minute on which to respond to said topic, okay? In the past, Joey the Bull has been, shall we say, less than stellar in his response. So I'm gonna lob some softballs to Joey the Bull.
He knows how to catch those.
Yes, with his face, but...
Hey,
BA, love you, man. Hope you get better. Hope that car problem you're having, as in it got towed away because you didn't make the payments. I'm just kidding.
I'm half the black guy that you are.
Wow, that's coming from that's black.
All right.
Black and black.
So this week, our topic, very simply, is WrestleMania. I'm going to give this topic to you first, Adam Woods. Now, that's a very broad topic, WrestleMania. What does it mean? What does it mean to you? It's something different to you? Something different to Jack Bruce Davidson? Certainly something different to me. So, once again, without any further ado, I say, Adam Woods, WrestleMania.
The showcase of the Immortals, the grandest stage of them all. It's coming to Inglewood at the SoFi Stadium next year. I can't be more excited. But what I really want to know is OCCW running something WrestleMania weekend? No?
You have
No?
44 seconds.
Okay,
43
so here's
seconds,
the thing.
42 seconds.
Let's
The
talk
way
about
that
WrestleMania Tampa.
No.
Keep
I don't
going,
want to.
keep going. You
I
got
don't want to. What I want to talk about is Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles to undo what they did a couple of WrestleManias ago. I want to see that for the Universal title at SoFi Stadium next year. I think there couldn't be a better match. Strong style. But yeah, that's what I got. I think I did worse than Joey the Bull. Yeah? No?
13.
12.
11.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I'm really glad that Davey Boy Smith is going into the Hall of Fame. WrestleMania alumni, so there you go. I did worse than Joey the Bull. How the
It's
fuck
not
did
as
that
easy as it looks, folks.
No.
It's not as easy as it looks.
I'll go next.
All right, Joey the Bull, your thoughts. WrestleMania.
I can't wait. WrestleMania. I look forward to WrestleMania every year.
Robert,
Once again, start over.
go ahead, go.
I cannot wait. WrestleMania. That's what I'm talking about. Now, every year, they're always, for me, WrestleMania is worth it when you always have that special guest or somebody coming out of retirement, which a lot of people would say it's not going to happen because it's not on contract. But God, please, I would love to see
Snooki.
like him is CM Punk come back and just do his thing, drop his mic, talk all of his shit that people love the way he used to talk. And then after that, maybe he'll go one-on-one with somebody. I would love to see the Finn versus the Boogeyman, because they're both like that same character. They're both demonic and crazy and evil. I like to see that in WrestleMania. I like to see like characters fighting each other, like a guy that sprayed perfume with a guy that cuts hair. I miss those WrestleManias. There's too many little pretty boys. Nothing against skinny guys. Skinny guys can wrestle, but I miss the old school characters of WrestleMania, and I hope we see it this year. And I did it in 1 minute.
That's what she said.
Joey the Bull.
Yes.
All right.
He's
win
done
a
this
whole
before.
minute. All right. Jack Bruce Davidson, you are up. WrestleMania.
Okay, so this year for WrestleMania, I'm pretty excited because it seems like NXT is going to have more of a role this year in WrestleMania as opposed to just the Saturday show. I know that we're going to see some guys from NXT in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We're going to see the Charlotte Flair take on Rhea Ripley, as I had mentioned earlier. And WrestleMania is a really cool show where you see like a lot of the long-term storylines come to a head, and it's long-term storytelling, when done correctly, is one of the finest things about professional wrestling, and I'm pretty excited about that. And I know I mentioned The Undertaker earlier, and I was a little bit critical on him, but I do hope that we see him this year against AJ Styles. I think that would be an absolute barn burner of a match. Basically the face of WWE versus basically the face of TNA. And aside from Sting, that's really an awesome match that I think I'd really want to see.
There you have it, our distinguished panel, WrestleMania. 3 different men, 3 wholly different opinions. All right, we have time for one more topic before we have to call it a good night. And our topic, ladies and gentlemen, is Chris Jericho. Yes, Chris Jericho, the Lionheart, the Y2J, the how many different
Ayatollah of rock and roller.
Yes, the Ayatollah of diet soda, Chris Jericho. Who wants to take this? JBD, you're going to take this one first. Chris Jericho for 1 minute. Go.
All right, I have all the respect in the world for Chris Jericho, and I think he's doing some really cool things in AEW. You know, he never seems to get really stale. He always knows when to shake things up. We've seen it with 2008 with his feud with Shawn Michaels, the feud of the year, when he ditched the rock and roll persona, which he sensed was getting stale, and he went to the conspiracy theorist, the quiet assassin, and then he came back and did that silent thing, which was a little questionable, but it was new, and he had like the light up jacket that he used the extra Christmas lights from Home Depot, but basically he's doing a really cool thing. He's always remaining fresh, and I think that his championship reign right now is one of the bright spots of AEW. He has his inner circle going on, and it's a pretty cool thing. And that's all I have to say about Chris Jericho. And
so you think it's a pretty cool thing?
Yeah, pretty cool thing.
Okay. Thank you, Jack Bruce Davison, our intrepid international correspondent. Next on the Chris Jericho topic, we have the distinguished Adam Woods.
What's good? One of the most prolific characters in all of wrestling. When you think about, he started his career as a junior in both Mexico and Japan. He's literally won championships everywhere that he's gone, and he's tweaked his performance and his persona so he doesn't get stale. Most people look at The Undertaker in terms of being able to change above the times, and I want to put Chris Jericho in that echelon. He's, again, won championships everywhere that he's gone, from Mexico to Japan, WWE. I mean, we love Jim Cornette. I mean, Smoky Mountain. He was one half of the Thrill Seekers with one Lance Storm. TV champion in ECW. I hope he's regarded as one of the greatest of all time, much like people recommend Ric Flair in that light. My favorite, Bret Hart. I think Chris Jericho, rightfully so, belongs in that conversation. And what he's doing at 52 years of age is astounding.
All right. And our final opinion on said topic, Chris Jericho, we have none other than Joseph the Bull Santana. Jose, take it away.
That's right. Now, Chris Jericho, to be honest, I didn't really care about him. I mean, when they first started hyping him up with his sound and the blinking and all that stuff, I was thinking, is this guy copying Taz? Because Taz was my favorite wrestler. Taz was the man. He was a short little firework, little pit bull. And I'm thinking, this guy's trying to copy the same gimmick with the whole burn. And then after that, it took me a while to like the guy. Yeah, I dig the fact that he was all about rock and roll because I'm all about rock and roll. I dig the whole Christmas-like jacket because I always want one of those jackets. And then now that he moved over to, of course, AEW, I think he's doing a phenomenal job. Yeah, he gained a little weight, getting a little older. He's not like the shape like how he used to be, but he still has a mouth. He still sells tickets because he knows how to use the mic. And not a lot of wrestlers these days that have been in the game for a while can't do what he does. And then he's doing it, and he's making it awesome. And I think he's making it where viewers are actually watching the show because of him. And that's it. And God bless America.
Well, there you have it. Once again, 3 different opinions, 3 different men, the same topic. For Joey the Bull, for Adam Woods, for our intrepid reporter, JBD, Jack Bruce Davidson, I am Jonathan Malice. I want to thank you for watching this episode of the Royal Ramble, and I want to wish you all of your bumps take place in the ring.